Oh, I didn't know that I've been muted. So, a very good evening to you all once again. I trust you're all doing
Good evening,
great.
sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so who is Madam Florence? So, please, your
Good evening,
microphone.
sir.
Yes, ma'am. Your mic. Can you turn off your camera and also mute your microphone? As if
Okay.
there's a sound on your background. Thank you very much. So you can also turn off your camera so that your colleagues may not be who may not have network that is who may not have network that will be so strong. Yeah, I won't have to go through all of those. Yeah, how are you doing? How's been your week? Or yeah, week, your last week and then this new week, and then your lectures, right? I trust everyone has been doing great. Okay, so in our last class, we brushed our last class was 2 weeks ago, and then you find all of them uploaded on the YouTube channel. You'll find a link if you access this lecture through your email address. You'll find a link to the folder. I'm also share the folder on the WhatsApp group. The folder contains all materials that you will need for the purpose of this course. This okay? Yeah. So what that means is that with one click, you are already in the you're already inside everything that you need. I'm still going to do some work there. I think I want to separate, with this method, I want to separate the lesson note from the past questions so that you can also assess them at will. Okay, good. So, excuse me. Yeah, let's go on now. So, we started talking about the business environments, and then from the business environment, we were able to focus on three major areas, which are the political and legal area, that's called the government, and the economic and part of a part of the economic and part of the technological, which make up business, and then the sociocultural, demographic, ecological, and even part of the technological environment, which all make up technology. And it is already established that there is a relationship between business, government, and society. Tonight's topic sheds more light into this relationship. Okay, and the reason is that as managers of businesses or any venture, you need to know where the heat is coming from, right? So that you know what to do about the heat that is coming. If the heat is coming from the government, like in today Nigeria, the serious heat is coming from government decisions for many businesses. Okay. Um, in some countries, heat comes more from the society, and then in some other countries, some other situations, the heat can come in the general business climate. Okay, so I said the perspective that you're going to use is that you're going to see yourself as a manager of a singular business unit. Okay, and what that goes to mean is that your business is interacting with these three elements. Your business is interacting with the government, okay, which is a macro factor. Your business is also interacting with the society, which of course is a macro factor. And then your business is interacting with the business world, the entire business world, which is also a macro factor. By that, we're referring to all the other businesses that your business has direct or indirect dealings with the banks, the transport systems, the filling stations, every other business that you can think of. Give me a second, please. All right, so those are the perspectives. So in our last class, we went on to have definitions for these three terms. We began with the society, and that's particularly because the society is like the major set, the larger set, the super set that has all the institutions in it. Okay, so the society has all the institutions in it, and two of those institutions are government and business. So business is an institution of the society, okay? An institution of society that transforms the materials of the society, okay, to meet the needs of the people in society. That means we have the people and their ideologies, the materials that they have, and then the institutions or systems that they have built around their relationships, okay? So, and then government is now another institution of society that is used to ensure that there is peace, order, and a smooth running of the entire system. So that's it now. So I've discovered this approach that I want you to have, and then we went on to look at the field. But while looking at the field, I still boil down. I still go back to what I said. You need to know where the heat is coming from. That's the meaning of this thing I highlighted here. Why is the BGS field important to managers? Why? 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 Okay, supposing you are not paying attention to the current price fluctuations in Nigeria, you just see that it's affecting your business, and before you know anything, you're out of business. Meanwhile, the government is doing something. The government is collecting loan, increased loans, increased importation of food items, and that's also leading to a serious devaluation in our economy, a temporary decrease in a temporary fall in the price of a particular food item, maize mostly, and then that's also affecting other food items to crash. But we don't have other. And this is just a government action. So you need to know where the heat is coming from. So if your business is the one that deals on maize, and probably you may have farmed maize last year, right? And then you have stored them in great quantities, hoping that you'll be able to sell and make some profit. You find out that going by the decisions of the government of this day, wow, you might be in a big mess. So that's where the heat is coming from. The heat can be from business with the business world as a whole. So as a manager, you need to know where the heat is coming, whether the society that is clamoring for for what they call um catalysm, so to speak, because we'll see that also this evening. Talking about public catalyst and environmental catalyst. Those people who are clamoring for climate change, okay, climate change is on its okay, all those kind of things. Don't don't use fossil fuel or reduce your fossil fuel usage. All of these things. So you need to know where who has strength. Okay, I will give a few reasons. There are three reasons given in your course material as to why managers must pay attention or why the field is very important. And the first is that the field as a whole is interdisciplinary in nature, is not limited to one body of knowledge. If you're very vast in the field of BGS, it means you'll be updated. You understand what's going on in the government, you understand what's going on in the scientific fields where production is being carried out. You understand what's going on in the business fields and all the disciplines. Okay. So you're going to read all of this again on your own. You can make reference to the previous class. You'll find the link in the previous in the folder, folder materials folder. And then another important reason is that it's these things are not just limited to your community. It's not limited to Lagos. It's not limited to Delta. It's not limited to Lokoja. These things are not limited to Zaria or anywhere. It's now a global matter. The same things that are happening in here are also happening in other places, and they are affecting us here. Something is happening in China and it's affecting businesses in Nigeria. It's producing some heat for your business in Nigeria. I hope you understand that. So that's why I would say it has a global perspective, and this global perspective comes with some advantages as well as some disadvantages. You're going to study them, the benefits, and then the challenges. Okay, and thirdly, it has a historical perspective. Okay, I always do this to say that history is not just things that have happened in the past. When we say history, we're not referring to what happened in 1960. Oh, the good old days. I don't know if you remember what they call the good old days. Oh, the good old days. You know the good old days. By the time you're finishing your university in Ahmadu Bello University, that day you're writing your final exam, companies will queue. Companies will come and queue. They are waiting for who to adopt. Okay, as you're finishing your final exam like this, as a final year student, they're employing you instantly with an official car. Oh, those are the good old days, right? The good old days where one naira is about $2. Oh, the good old days. So what happened? So history is not about the past. Okay, history is about time, how things change over time. So it's history that will tell you that where we are now is as a result of the things that happened in the past and where we are headed in the future. So history is also future oriented. Where we are headed in the future is as a result of the things that are going on now, the things that are happening now. So you must understand the historical perspective of the field of BGS. Many of the changes or the effects were caused by either business or government or the society in one previous time or another. So you have to read all of these and understand them. Okay, look at this. We said what we have today is not the same thing that we have before. Okay, the solutions we have today are not the only alternative. There are other ways. Okay, things change and we cannot control how they change. We just find out that they are changing. As a matter of fact, businesses cause change and businesses also adapt to change. Just read up the other ones. Okay, so I told you that we're going to be looking at this course in this manner, and then I also told you that this course is one that is studied with the use of live cases, practical cases. They call them case studies, where they will bring a story like you will find in your material. That should be the ExxonMobil case, right? Mobil, this petroleum company, right? Good. So that's like a story of that company, how it moved from history into today and probably into the future. As we go into the future, the challenges it has had in relating with governments, the challenges it has had in relating with businesses, okay, the different relationships that it has, okay, stuff like that. So those are the things that those are that's how this course is studied, the use of case studies. Okay. So I said we're going to study the power tussle. When I say power tussle, I mean the voice. Which of these is the voice in the society per time? At one point in time, it may be that the government is the voice. At another point in time, it may be that the society is the one that is the voice. At another point in time, it may be that it's businesses that are the voice. So you need to know where the heat is coming from, like I always say. So after we study that tonight, that's what we'll talk about, the models of BGS relationship. After we study that tonight, then we'll now see how we can delve into the other topics which have been reclassified into the ones that are the business issues, the ones that are majorly societal issues, and the ones that are majorly governmental issues. Good. So, do your best to study your materials. In the folder that I gave to you, you have all the materials there. You have your courseware, you have this progressive lecture notes, okay, and you have everything. You have the exam case there. Study them as well. So, I also gave you something that talks about the historical perspective, how Nokia and Samsung have their issues from the beginning, have their errors, and then how finally Samsung, Nokia was bought up, and then Samsung stood the test of time. All because the management of one of them did not pay attention to BGS. or the management of the other did. Good. So we'll be looking at relationships. How are they related per time? Okay, these relationships is actually all about influence. That's the simplest way to put it. I think I need to add this line. The relationship between business, government, and society it's all about what? Influence. Who influences who? Which arm has the stronger influence on your micro business, your business unit? Is it the government? Is it the society as a whole? Or is it the business world? So that's what this particular topic is all about. It's not a difficult one, something that you will understand. So within a short while we'll wrap up, okay? So I said um a description, a simplified description of relationships. That's what we call model in the academics. It could be a diagram, that's a pictorial representation of something that shows how one or two concepts are related or how one concept affects the other. Okay, as the case may be. So those are models. Okay, so study what a model is because kind of question you will always see in your exams will be what are models? What's a model? So there are four schools of thought. There are four schools of thought. What a model does, a model can either describe. Okay. So one of these models will be doing a description. It will be describing the relationship between B and S. A model can also either prescribe. Okay, prescribe. So the model that prescribes will be telling you what ought to be, how it should be. Okay, so one way or the other, a model either describes or prescribes the relationship. So the models of BGS relationship will either describe or prescribe the flow of influence. Okay, I think I need to add this line. Okay, it's somewhere down there. Okay, this is it. Yeah, I said it either describes or interprets or explains or prescribes. So the model does one of any model, the model does at least one or more of these things. Okay, so looking at it, we have a market capitalism model, the dominance model, the countervailing forces model, and the stakeholder model. Now, at this juncture, I want to bring your attention to something else. When you see four models of BGS relationship, there are two other concepts that we will meet ahead of this course, maybe in the fourth or fifth lecture, that also has models and theories, and they are all four. Okay, when we come across corporate governance, you find out that corporate governance also have four models. When we come across what do you call that? Um, yeah, same corporate governance. Corporate governance has another set of fours, which are theories, right? So you're going to find out that that one also has four theories. So you need to know which one is which. You need to be able to differentiate between the models of BGS relationship from the models of corporate governance, also from the theories of corporate governance, theoretical basis of corporate governance, rather. So that goes to say that when you see a question in your examination asking you for the models of BGS relationship, you should not come and write the models of corporate governance, probably because you're mistaking them for one another. Okay? I hope that point is noted. Let me hear you now. I hope that point is noted.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And one funny thing
Very,
you will
very
find,
clear, sir.
one funny thing you will find is that See this stakeholder model. You have stakeholder model in BGS relationship. You also have stakeholder model in corporate governance, models of corporate governance. And you also have stakeholder model in which you know you're a boss and our Lagos people, Abuja people, man. Eh? Abuja people. You've never gotten home. Yeah. So when you do, you look at the lecture again. So I was saying you have stakeholder model in all the each of the set of four. We have stakeholder model in BGS relationship. We also have stakeholder model in models of CG, corporate governance. And we have stakeholder theory, I think. Yeah, we should have stakeholder theory in a theoretical basis. I think so. All the same. When you meet them, differentiate between them. So let's look at them. Let's look at them. This is almost like an evolution, a transition from one system to another, depending on depending on what's prevalent in a particular country at a particular time. Okay, good. So here we will be looking at in each of the models, right? What's the influence of business in each of the models? Each of the models describe different situation. So what's the influence? You want to say business power? I put it in brackets. How well can business? How well does business have a voice in each of the model? Okay, that also goes to determine how managers should make decisions. Okay, how to what extent will businesses respond to the society's needs, to the society's other needs? That's what this part is talking about. How what will be the ethical duties of managers? And then, depending on how business is powerful, what will be the need for businesses to be regulated? Okay, these are the things. So we have four of them. Number one, the market capitalism model. Number two, the dominance model. Number three, the countervailing forces model. And number four, the stakeholder model. So let's rush back to the first one and see what it's like. When you hear market capitalism, what comes to your mind is that system of government where are businesses have a lot of freedom. So you see that businesses can have a strong influence in that model because they have a lot of freedom. Anybody can just start any business as far as you can supply, you can provide value and amass a lot of wealth. So it doesn't matter how it goes. If you like play your game fair, if you like play it with some bit of unhealthy competition, it doesn't matter. As far as you are doing business, you can go or anyhow as far as you're doing business. Okay, so it's that capitalist idea, that capitalist ideology where profit is just the drive. Profit, 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 profit. So businesses run and they don't care much about the society, don't care much about the government because in that kind of a system, the government don't even speak, the government don't interfere. The government just provides probably the market, but the government does not interfere. There's very little or no interference of the government. That's what this one is described. That's the description behind this. Okay, that's what we're having today. That's what the global space is becoming, where we have businesses, especially businesses in the pharmaceuticals, who have tried their best to crush governments and societies just to market their pharmaceutical products. And they don't mind that these products are keeping you to remain their customers and not causing you to get well. They're the ones that drove COVID because they want to sell vaccines. They're the one that drove stuff like that. Yeah. So if you know the history behind if you have some further information behind all of these, you can go on to study them. So in this case now, business has power, business has influence. If you check your courseware, you will see there's a diagram, a pyramid where business, as the market now, is at the top of it. Okay. So the government does not make noise. So what do you do in this kind of a situation? We said political intervention is just limited. The only way the society is a little bit protected is that one business will always compete against another. So in order the competition, and in order as a result of that competition, the society can enjoy quality goods because any business whose product is not qualitative definitely will go out, right? So that's the only way the society benefits in the market capitalism model. So what does that tell you? It tells you that as a manager, if you find yourself in that kind of a situation, you need to put your ears on the ground and know that the heat, every heat you will get is coming from business, the business world. Okay. Yeah. So that brings us to the next model. Okay, the next model is also most like a description or a prescription. Okay. This describes a situation where, considering where we're coming from market capitalism, where business has the greater influence. They call it money power, the power of money. Okay, Nigerians definitely will know the power of money, but at this time around now, the government had to raise their own shoulders up in an attempt to checkmate the powers of business. But what happens? What happens in the end is that businesses now buy the government over. So it now becomes businesses and government oppressing society. Businesses and government wielding almost equal influence, and the society is almost is almost without help. It's at the receiving end. Okay, all these examples I'm giving to you. When you read that ExxonMobil case, you will find them. So how did it start? So those people that are talking about capitalism, they say no, these businesses, capitalism can become so uncontrolled. So the government, instead of confronting business, it joins business to oppress the masses. Government has political power. Business has money power. Society stay, okay. Look at this line. It says business moguls may become so wealthy and governments may even fear them. Okay. Yeah, governments may fear them. See what Bill Gates is doing today in the global space, right? Bill Gates is doing his own shege in the global space. And governments are just complying. They're just complying. If you talk, he will slap you with dollars. And these dollars are in millions, not slap you with millions of dollars. Everybody will comply. You see what is black. You say, this one is white. Because Bill Gates says white. Okay. So you will not even mind. Just the way that we're having genetically modified foods that Bill Gates is pushing into Nigeria, genetically modified maize, genetically modified everything, such a way that the idea is to reduce the population of the world. He has said it in the open many times, and he's pushing it with his money. And instead of the government to fight back, the government is collecting the money and also pushing the idea down to the people. That is a dominant system in practice. And Nigeria is actually a major target as well. Okay, good. So we have countervailing forces, right? Now, this example I gave of Brigade Foundation trying to do this is coming to a point where other voices are beginning to challenge both the government and what the business is doing, right? There are two major voices, and when you are writing it, make your write up carry this. You have to say public catalysts and environmental catalysts. These are two major voices that are standing up now to say no, you can't treat people like that, or you can't treat the environment like that. Okay, you cannot just carry out your agenda to reduce our population. What does that mean? That will mean that number one, there will be a reduction in the fertility rate of Nigerians. And number two, there will be a reduction in the life expectancy. You know, they call life expectancy, how long people live. So it's these things are programmed not to begin to kill people instantly, but to reduce to kill them over time. Start eating. That's why you need to be mindful of. That's why you need to be mindful, okay, mindful of what you're eating. You can go natural, produce your own food. I advise you to do that. But we have public catalysts who are also scientists coming out to speak, holding symposiums and meetings to challenge that status quo. So now we have four different types of influence. We have the business influence on one hand. I've given you a simple example. We have the government influence on the other hand. That's number two. Number three, we have the influence of public catalysts. Public catalysts speak for people. Okay. Then we have the influence of environmental catalysts. Environmental catalysts speak for the environment. Okay, they're the ones that advocate for the protection of the environment, and they too, and they too are coming up with their own in the name of climate change. Those things too are also different areas of influences, and it has also been proven that they are just that businesses, the same belief foundation is the one pushing this thing. Okay, and studies have proven that they don't have data for or what they are doing. They don't have any data that backs up all of these decisions. Yet they are pushing it down people's throats for over 50 years. They call it global warming, global warming, global warming, global warming, global warming. Nothing happened, nothing changed. It's just the usual cycle. And say, okay, it's not global warming, it's called climate change. And they're still going. And nothing will change. All because they want to have a form of control over the entire world's resources and people. Okay, you need to understand how these things operate. Okay. Yeah, so that's why they're going from places to places. They want to make sure Africa remains where it is so that they can always get its resources. People in Africa have nothing or they are wiped out, reduced, okay, and so on and so forth. So I hope you're getting something. Number four, the stakeholder model. The stakeholder model does not limit that influence to those four participants alone. Now, the stakeholder model says it will come to a stakeholder model says, or it has even come to a point where the influence is coming from all angles. It's coming from all angles. And as a manager, you need to pay attention to all angles. Government is giving you bars. Business too is giving you boosts. Public catalysts and environmental catalysts are giving you boosts. Customers are shouting on the other side. The society where your business is located is also bringing its own voice out. Your employees also have a voice now. Which other one? Just name them. Anything just like that has a voice, and they are really, really affecting business decisions one way or another. Such a way that business cannot just move or make decisions without considering them. They are called stakeholders. Those classes of people, which actually is everybody, whose decisions have the ability to affect the outcomes of your business. Their actions, they are either affected or they are the ones affecting you or you are the ones affecting them. Anyhow, so that's where we are. Okay. So we said giving whoever the boss is in any situation, okay, talking about the strongest influence, where the influence is coming from. The question still narrows down to what should the manager do? Oga manager, what should you do in every given situation you find yourself? Okay. So it's on this basis that we can now say that a BGS model is a systematic description of the ideologies that describe or prescribe the interacting relationship between business, government, and the society. Simple and short. That brings us to the end of this course, of this topic today. But let me just peruse through. Let me see if I can quickly lay my hand on the material, our courseware, and let's look at the Exxon Mobil case. Before we go on, do you have any question? If you have any question, you can go on to you can go ahead to answer that, to ask. Okay. Yeah. Let me share. Someone is joining when we are about wrapping up. Someone is joining when we are about wrapping up. All right. So what do we got here? Okay. So yeah, I think this is the case study. Is it not it? Yeah, this is the case study. The story of Exxon Mobil Corporation. You're going to read it. Okay. Okay. So it started from here. It started by telling us what is that, what this company is. It's a giant. Okay. It's a giant worldwide. Okay. Where the headquarters is, where people by telling us what the perspective that people hold of it, the market share that it has, and how that market share changed over the years. The ownership structure, okay, the ownership structure, how it has evolved, its own historical perspectives was here, and then how that corporate governance structure changed over time, okay, and so on and so forth. Now it's called Standard Oil. What it owned, what it's okay. Congress challenged it. Congress is like one of the legislative arms in America. It's confrontations with government, okay, where government outlawed its monopoly. When I say outlaw, it declared that its monopoly is a crime, it's against the law. It cannot be the only one doing business. So they fought and fought legal battles, and then that giant of a company split into 39 separate companies. And even at that, it was still the world one of the major one now, which is called Standard Oil of New Jersey, became the largest oil company. Okay. Some companies formed Some companies formed in the breakup. We have many of them listed here. And then in particular year, that's 1999, Standard Oil changed its name to Exxon. That's in 1972. And in 1999, it merged with Mobil, and then it became Exxon Mobil. Okay, so you can read up all of this by yourself. As you're reading it, you are looking out for influence, oh, and so on and so forth. How um some countries reacted to it. See now we're talking about 8%, all the way from 66 something percent in those early years. How that Saudi Arabia came up with another set of giant companies called the Seven Sisters, which 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 awards now, which challenged ExxonMobil, okay, and so on and so forth. How in some countries it even paid governments, bribed government, they call it lobbying. It's bribery, it's not lobbying, okay, let's call it what it is. They bribe government, and government soldiers are the ones protecting its own facilities. Look at this in Indonesia. Indonesian troops guard the facilities against rebel attacks. Okay, Nigeria has had its own share, where some of the early areas in the Niger Delta region, where we found oil, some of those areas have been badly affected by the drilling activities. Okay, so a few of those areas have been badly, and it has affected their livelihood and all of those things. government and all of those things. Okay, you also see where social catalyst came up, environmental catalyst rather, and public catalyst, and so on and so forth. It's a long story, so you're going to study it and finally find yourself somewhere here. Full stop. Any question? No question.
Good evening, sir. Sorry, I have a question.
Yes, please go on with your question.
Okay, sorry, I came a bit late because I didn't get like the notification on my email. So immediately I saw it, I think
Okay.
it was on the WhatsApp. I saw a message, then I logged in. Please, I don't know, will the recording to be on our
Yeah,
dashboard
you
or what's
always
it
get the
called?
record. No,
Okay, because I
it's not.
think
Go on, finish off.
okay, because I think I've not seen some of your recordings there. Like I know I've seen a couple, but not like I'm usually present in your class, so but I think I don't get to see it anytime I go back to listen to it. So I just
Oh,
wanted to ask. I know the other ones were on YouTube and then there was a link, something like that.
yeah, all the lectures I'll be doing going forward will be on YouTube. That's the only place I know I can have space to store them and you can access them anytime, any day.
Okay.
So by the
Then
time this one is
sorry.
ready, okay,
Okay.
ask it. Okay, finish off.
No, it's fine. Sorry, you can.
So I was saying by the time this one is ready, I'll also upload it and then add the link. There's a folder in the forum that I created. Once you access the forum for this particular lecture, you see the link to the folder. In that folder, you'll find where you have all the links that are available to all the. Okay, I don't know how many of you have accessed that folder, but you'll find it there. Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry, but please will I still see like some of this there, like
Yes, you will
everything you're
definitely.
talking about the screen.
Everything you will
Mm,
find.
okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. So, any other one? You find all materials. I don't know if I should take you a little bit through all of those. This should be a little bit a few of the things that I should have. Although I just started this particular way, I wasn't doing it this way. I've been finding different ways to see how to make it easier and always available, despite that the LMS has not been so available unto us. So where is this one now? Okay, good. Okay, so this is the folder you come to where when you click that link in every forum I create, I'll always okay. So you will see a Google document that says live lecture video links. So by the time you double click on it and open it, you should see all the links to the sessions that we've had so far. The ones from the previous semester are in this folder. And then this is the first lecture we had, which was a joint orientation session with BSAQ301. And then this is the previous lecture, the preceding one, right? Which is on what now? Introduction. So by the time this one is ready, you will see it here, lecture 3. Hmm, not that one, just ignore that one. You see it at the bottom here, lecture 3, and lecture 4, and lecture 5, and lecture 6, as the case may be, right? So you have
Okay.
everything all in one place. Okay. So that's the
Okay,
model I
sir.
want to use going forward. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome, everybody. So I want to believe you had a good time tonight. So I don't think I could stop the recording so that toasting glory, we say the closing prayer for us, right? Okay, so guys, let's call it a day. It's 9:30. That should mean that we've had a 45 minutes session. Stop recording.